We're digging into Secure 2.0 again. We're talking about this weird little provision that's in there that can actually be really cool, and I'm going to break it down for you. 529 accounts into Roth conversions. I'm going to get into the scoop. Here we go. I'm Antonio Cibella with Vision Wealth Management. Welcome to the latest video. If you've been watching the videos as they're coming out and you enjoy them, subscribe to the channel. I put more stuff out. The more you subscribe, the more people get to see it because YouTube goes, hey, this guy's got some stuff that's worth talking about. So if you're enjoying it, by all means, help me out. Here we go. 529 to Roth conversion, which a year ago is something I never thought I'd be talking about because it just sounds weird and it didn't exist. But Secure 2.0, there was a section of it, section 126, if you want to go check me on this, that said that you can move 529 money into Roth IRA money, provided that you meet some certain criteria. I'm going to tell you the criteria, and then I'm going to tell you why this is like the weirdest but crazy awesomest loophole that I've seen in a long time. And so here we go. The criteria for it has to be beneficiary to beneficiary. A 529 account is a higher education savings account. You started, a lot of people will start one for their kids. Grandparents will start one for their grandkids. So there's an account owner, that's you, your spouse, grandma, grandpa, whoever. There's a beneficiary, that's the kid. That's, we're putting money away for this child for higher education, but it's not actually their money. They're just gonna benefit from having this. It's not a beneficiary in a traditional sense of like, I named a beneficiary on my IRA and if I die, that's where it goes. It's, this money is for this person's benefit in a 529 plan. So it's gotta be Benny to Benny. It's gotta go for this person and then go into their Roth IRA. The second thing, the 529 has to exist for at least 15 years. So the idea here is this is money that you were planning to use for higher education, but you didn't. They got scholarships, they didn't go to college, whatever the case may be. So now you got this pot of money and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. And so Secure 2.0 says, hey, make it retirement money. You can do that. It's got to be open for 15 years. You can't put money into a 529 and then turn around and convert it to Roth. The account's got to live for 15 years. The third one, you're limited to the Roth IRA annual contribution limit. Right now it's $6,500, might be different in the future. That's when you're converting, when you're pulling money out of the 529 15 years down the road or more. Whatever the contribution limit to the Roth is, that's the most you can move in any 1 year, and then it counts against you as the contribution for that year. You don't get to double dip. You don't get to say like, hey, we have this money coming from the 529 and we're gonna put another 6,500 in. No, that 6,500, if that's the limit then, is actually your contribution for that year. And then the last one, the max you can move over is $35,000. So 529 to Roth, move it tax-free. The most you can do is $35,000 on the backside. That's the most that you can move over. I'll break down what that looks like if you actually did it, not with the idea of we may have some leftover college money, just with the idea of like, let's essentially start an IRA for our kid at their birth using this loophole. So here you go. If you took $10,000 at the time that your child was born and said, making a contribution into a 529 account, here's 10 grand. Done and done. Not putting any more money into it. Fast forward, now they're 16 years old. Now to make a Roth contribution, you have to have earned income. So they're gonna have to get a job as a lifeguard at the pool. They have to get, my first job was at Taco Bell. They'll have to get a job at Taco Bell, something along those lines. But if they have earned income, now you can start moving this 529 money over. So I looked at what happens if you take $10,000, put it into a 529 account. Let's assume you earn an 8% annual return and you just leave it for 16 years. What happens? It grows into slightly more than $35,000. That's perfect. $35,000 is the most we can move over. So we put $10,000 into this thing. There's 16. There's $35,813, according to my math, in it at that time. You're gonna start drawing $6,500 a year to make these Roth contributions. So you're just moving the money from the 529 into the Roth each year. You do that for a little over 5 years until you get $3,500 in, and then you stop. So now you've got a 21-year-old who has gotten $35,000 in through these contributions. And now you say, well, what happens if we just left it? They're now, 21 years old. They've got a little over $35,000 sitting in their account. Let's assume that they earned the 8% along the way from 16 until now. And now they're going to get 8% per year until they reach retirement age. And let's say they want to kick back at 65. What's it turn into? At age 65, that $10,000 investment has turned into, drumroll, tax-free Roth money of $1.55 million. $1.55 million. It's because the investment time horizon is 65 years in that circumstance, which is just bananas. But if you think about the planning opportunity this has, put $10,000 in once, leave it alone. Shuffle it around when you have to go from 529 into Roth, leave it alone again. We're not even talking about continuing to add. Certainly they should continue to add. But just that little start off ends up being $1.55 million by the time they get to roughly retirement age, which is just insane. So, like I said, crazy little loophole, but the potential uses for it, it's actually really cool if you want to help set your child up for the long run, or you want to help set your grandchild up for the long run. I will end the video by saying, as a young parent, here's a call out to all of the grandmas and grandpas. Go get the checkbook, $10,000 into $1.5 million in retirement for your grandkids. If you can do it, what a heck of a gift. At any rate, a lot more to it than that. I went over the basics as much as I could. I'm sure I went over 5 minutes here. I get excited talking about this stuff. But that being said, if you have questions, feel free to reach out, drop me an email. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something today, and I'll see you soon.